So welcome everybody to Call 2 for the Conscious Connection course. I'm Elizabeth. I'll be your facilitator today. Here we go. So today we're just going to set up the space, run a little bit of energy, and then we're going to get started. Feel free, however, to use the chat box if you have any experiences or, holy cow, that hurts, or whatever transpires. The chat box is available to you. I scan it every now and then, so I may not be able to get to all of them, but just know that whatever you put in there is being handled by your guides, your team, your higher self. So everybody, deep breath in. And call forth the Ascended Masters, your guides, you from the future as an Ascended Master, your higher self, your team, and the angelic beings of love and light that you work with, and the Essence Mastery guides. We ask them to come forth now and surround you in this safe and sacred space. We're inviting your higher self and your body Deva's higher self to actively connect and engage with all systems, levels, components, and all aspects of your body and your being. And we call forth the appropriate sacred geometric healing shapes, holograms, and mandalas that have the capacity to support you today from a place of balance, self-empowerment, flow, healing, energetic discernment, self-love, self-worth, self-value, faith and trust, integration. And we're going to ask that these intentions, along with any other intentions you wish to bring in for yourself today, we ask that these intentions be held in the energetic fields. For the first pieces, we're going to start running some energy, and just as a note, we should be running energy every day, preferably in the morning, to clean and clear any blocks that are ready to go, so you don't have to carry them in your energetic field. So we're going to invite your higher self, your body Deva's higher self, to drop grounding cords extending from the waist down or from your root chakra all the way deep into the core of earth at that molten lava center, anchoring in there. Inviting you to bring your aura in about 1.5 feet. Inviting the body Deva's higher self to bring in that earth energy, and some of you are already moving it, it's not a problem. Up through your feet chakras, opening those, up through the side channels of your legs, into the root chakra, opening the root, cleaning and clearing the root, and then recircling, cycling that energy back down the grounding cord. Inviting your higher self to the top of your head, opening the crown, bringing in divine cosmic energy from above, down through the crown, through the back of the spine, dipping into the root chakra, picking up about 10 to 15% of earth energy there, and flowing it back up the front, out through the top of the head, down and out through your energy fields, through your hand chakras, and running that energy from above and below throughout the session, cleaning and clearing your energetic fields from any blocks, any fatigue, any stuck energy, anything that's ready to go, cleaning and clearing it of all energy that belongs to other people, all of their blocks, all of their projections, up and out of the chakras. There we go. Good. And we're going to let that flow just a few seconds, breathing in and out as the energy circulates from above and below. And I can feel a little wooziness, which tells me that this energy is not being run on a daily basis, and I'm a little guilty of that too. So just a reminder, we should be running this daily. It will help us with the downloads and anything, loosening up anything that is ready to go. Okay. Good. Good. And so the first piece we're going to pick up on here, I took some notes, so I am cheating a little bit reading from my notes, so bear with me. First piece, since we are still working with the body this week, this is the last week that we will have to work specifically with the body deva. And since we have gone through this bump in vibration, huge, really huge over the last 30 days, recalibration. Again, as we spoke earlier, the body usually needs a little bit more time to shift things. It's denser, it's not in the other realms where you can just, and just flick things on and off. The body's a little slower. And so what came in over the last 30 days is a new way of communicating with the body. So we're using like this high-tech smartphone, iPhone, and we're just like sliding everything and tapping on all the apps. But the body deva still has the old mobile flip phone, right? It has the flip phone. You have to press the dials to dial. Texting is like ridiculous because it's running on an older program. So the first piece we're going to work on is using some of this beautiful moon energy that came in just a couple of days ago, so we can still tap into it to help the body upgrade its phone service. So we're going to act a little bit like Verizon today. We're going to initiate an upgrade. So we're inviting your body deva's higher self. Actually, we'll update everybody's. We'll update everybody's communication systems. So invite your higher self, your body deva's higher self, in your team to engage and locate the current communication system you're using with the body. So the way that your soul is communicating with the body, the way your team might be communicating with the body, locating those communication systems. And again, remember, we're not doing this with the mind, right? We're just kind of letting that go, saying, okay, higher self, this is your job, you do it. You hold the space, that zoned out, you get to like kind of feel the whirl and swirl, but you're not doing it with the mind. You kind of let that mind go for a few minutes. And we're going to invite your higher self to bring all of your awareness and energy into your own divine line in a clean, clear, recalibrated, whole and healed state. And then to engage and locate for your body deva's higher self the current communication mechanisms, the dimensions, the way in which you've been communicating with your body. Locate all those ways of listening and receiving information from your body. And we're inviting your body's higher self to locate its communication system that it's been using to connect with you at the level of your higher self. So everybody just kind of engage and locate all your mechanisms. There we go. Woo. Good. And we're inviting your higher self and your body deva's higher self to relay all relevant and appropriate information to one another where it can be received in the higher realms, to release all of the energetic mechanisms you've been using to communicate with one another that are no longer working. basically because you've moved into this higher vibrational way of being. So it's kind of like your higher self, if you think of an apartment building, your higher self's on the 12th floor and your body deva might be like on the 5th floor, and you would use the tin can and string mechanism to talk to one another between those floors. Well, you've moved to this higher vibration, so you're no longer monitoring that tin can. You're on your smartphone, and your body's using, say, like a computer. So you're sending information, but you're not kind of like on the same phone plan. So we're going to get on the same plan. Good. And your higher self and body's higher self, they know how to do this. Just let them do that. We're inviting them, the higher self and body deva's higher self, to then engage and locate the dimensions where both of you can hear, translate, and receive messages, to receive the processes and the protocols that both of you can hear, translate, and receive. So we want to find that dimension in the higher realms. There we go. Where everybody can hear, when everybody's on the same Verizon plan, everybody's using the same phone, where you can hear and receive the messages, translate them so that everybody's working off the same page. And it can be very frustrating, right, as you know, for the soul and the body to be sending these messages and nobody's answering, right? So we're going to release some of that frustration, delete and dissolve all that. And now we're inviting your higher self, your body deva's higher self, to open the lines of communication in the appropriate dimensions where you're both are monitoring. So let's say you're both in 2 different apartment buildings, but now you're both on the same floor. You're both on floor 12. And on floor 12, you both have smartphones. And so now we're just making sure that you're both on the Verizon plan. Not one of you's using Sprint and the other's using Verizon. You're both on Verizon. You've got the same phone. You're in the same dimension. So that makes communication flow between the two of you much more easily. Good. And we're inviting your higher self and your body deva's higher self to continually check on and update the dimensions where you communicate with each other, and to going forward to continually adjust it appropriately. So just kind of like a monthly, weekly, monthly check-in to say, hey, are you there? What floor are you on now? And then to adjust that so that everybody can move together to the next floor. Here we go. And the same issue is happening with the team. As they start to hold a higher vibration, they also move into a higher dimension. So we're just going to focus a little bit on your team. Good. So we're inviting your higher self, your body's higher self, and your team at the level of their higher selves to engage and locate the dimensions where you, at the level of your higher self, and your team can hear each other. So now that you have the body in the next apartment at the same floor, we're going to move your team. Your team's going to move to a new apartment at the same floor. So we're inviting them to engage and locate the dimension where your team can hear each other, where they can hear you. Good. It's in the same dimension that you're in. Inviting them to use their higher selves, the energy fields, to locate that dimension. And sometimes this will, this can translate into I can't hear my guides, I can't hear my team, I can't hear my body, I'm not receiving any information. And that could just be like it's a floor change. They're having a floor change. And so when the floor changes and you're using, they're in a different dimension and you're using different mechanisms, it can be a little bit more difficult to hear them. So we're going to invite them to, again, update where they are at the appropriate dimension of where you are. And we're inviting your guides to come forth, and we're inviting your guides who might be surrounding you in another dimension, who kind of like have been either holding back or just kind of waiting in the wings. You know, their communication mechanism might be different from yours. They might actually even speak another language. So we're inviting them, ooh, that hurt, right? We're inviting them to bring in the appropriate translation mechanisms. So if they're speaking at an energetic level in which you can't understand, they can bring in a translation mechanism so that you can understand them. It can be really frustrating. It's like having somebody on your team who speaks Chinese, right? And you're not fluent in Chinese. It's kind of like they hang out there and they have great information, but it doesn't help if you can't communicate. Okay, good. To bring in those and to recalibrate them, opening the lines of communication now between your guides, your team, your body, and vice versa. So now the communication mechanisms go back and forth instead of just one way. Good. And we're inviting the moon at the level of her higher self to bring in any lunar light mechanisms to assist in cleaning and clearing the energy between the divine lines of you, your body, and your team, which could affect the chakra system, and to clean and clear the area around the divine lines of any discordant frequencies or vibrations, blocks, stuck energy, frustration, angst, anger. You know, that whole, I can't, you're not listening to me, or you can't hear me, or I'm so frustrated. Clean that up and out. And then re-imprinting in that area the vibrations of passion, drive, focus, motivation, connection, communication. Good. And updating all of those orientation points and reference points and all ways in which you perceive. Well, let's first activate the spiritual lessons and then repattern it, please. Great. And I'm just going to check in to see how that feels for people. It's a pretty larger piece than what we've done before. And I'm going to check in. I'll read the box. Okay, so we're just going to go back to the team. The team just kind of like, didn't really shift that. So we're inviting your team at the level of their higher selves to engage and locate the appropriate dimension or floor where you and your body are currently residing or communicating from. Good. Okay, to move their energy, their vibration to the same dimension, the same floor, and bringing in a compatible, if not identical, there we go, communication system or mechanism. Okay. that allows the team to communicate more clearly and directly with the body, with the higher self, mostly with the higher self. You at the level of your soul. Good. There we go. Making sure that all three, the body, the team, the higher self, are all in the same dimension, all using clean, cleared communication mechanisms. You're on the same vibrational patterns of communication. All your mechanisms that you were using that no longer work, we're going to invite you to delete and dissolve all those. Good. Good. And bring in this new vibration, this new level of communication, these new mechanisms, and infuse them into where you are now. Good. Activate all those spiritual lessons and repattern all those pieces, please. Good. And I can feel that recalibration happening now in the head a little bit. Kind of like by the ear chakras, how you hear, how you receive. Good. And that's being reworked. Okay, good. Everybody's doing okay. These processes seem to be a little bit they're not subtle. I don't know if that's the right word. They feel deeper. Like these processes feel like they're hitting us at a deeper level. Whereas before we usually clear some pieces right out of the energy fields and there's an immediate resonance and then they clear. This feels like it's going deeper into the energetic blueprints, deeper into the essences of you, your body, your team. We're just going to hold space for that to shift for a moment. Awesome. And feel free to check in as we move to the next piece. The next piece is around creativity. It's around passion, and being in your passion and accessing that creative flow. And that all correlates with the second chakra, the sacral, creative sexual energy, flow, passion, that sacral gets really fired up. It's also where we anchor in the divine line, right? So when we glue the divine line onto the front of the spine, you always want to make sure that you're anchored in at the sacral and the root. So what happens sometimes with healers and light workers is we're so focused on getting those upper chakras developed. We want to hear, we want to see, we want to access intuition, access all of our intuitive gifts. And what we forget sometimes is that if you're not anchored solidly in the lower chakras, you can become extremely out of balance very quickly, and it can be very uncomfortable. And so if you're working in those upper chakras and your line is bubbling off at the sacral and the root, then we're going to have trouble creating flow and creating projects and being in your passion, and you just kind of have this feeling of like numbness, like nothing interests you. You're not really excited or passionate about anything in particular. It's just kind of like, I'm here. And that also can be uncomfortable because you want to access that greater inner passion of creativity, and it's just not happening. So when we yearn for that greater sexual energy, that creative energy or passion and drive, we want to make sure you are anchored onto your divine line. We'll just do a really quick visual guided piece so that you can have something to work on. Like if you realize you get a hit in your car and you're like, you know, your guides are like, you're off your line. You're off your line. So you have a quick thing to utilize to put yourself back on your line. So if your eyes are not closed, we'll invite you to close your eyes just for a moment. And just take a deep breath in, pulling all of your energy awareness into that divine line, into the center. And we're going to invite you to imagine looking at yourself from the side. So it's kind of like a side view. And if you don't see it, that's fine. Just sense it, perceive it, imagine it. And we'll start with the imagination starting from the top of your head, which is the divine line that incepts from the heart of source, and it comes through the top of your head. And with your senses, just imagine seeing or feeling the divine line, gluing it onto your crown chakra. And then going down the front, gluing it onto the front of your third eye. Gluing it onto your throat chakra. And for some of you, glue's not going to work. When I first started, glue didn't work for me. I needed Velcro, or I needed ribbon or twine, and I had to tie it on. At some points in time, I used a belt. So whatever your imagination works for you to glue that on there, you can use that. Feel free. We're just going to use the word glue, but you can imagine, sense, or perceive any other tool that is more appropriate for you. Gluing your divine line next onto your heart chakra. And right about here for light workers and coaches, this is where the line starts to bubble up. So just kind of sense, feel, and perceive the next couple of pieces as you glue your divine line onto your solar plexus. And if you have a hard time bringing that in, just ask your higher self to bring the divine line in and glue it onto the solar plexus. Take a deep breath in if you want, and imagine just drawing that line onto your solar plexus and tack it down however you choose. Doing the same thing for the sacral, gluing it onto the sacral. Good. And gluing it on to the root chakra. And that's the only thing you really get to do with your mind, is to bring that in. The next pieces, we're going to invite your higher self, Body David's higher self and team, to engage and locate the point in time prior to entering into this world. So again, on that platform before you entered this world, and to locate all the creative energy you cultivated in all of the lifetimes that you've had in all directions of time, and bring all of that creative energy there on that platform, in and around you, wrapping yourself in and around you. For you, your team's going to do the same. Body Deva's higher self can do the same if that's appropriate for you. Bringing all of that juicy, creative energy. Any of you who've left some behind before you came, go and grab it. You want it all of it. Grab it all. And just like bring it all in. Wrap yourself in it. Bring it in your line. It's like juicy and delicious. Good. Seal it in. So now that you have it in it, seal it in. You give it to no one. Nobody. You keep it for yourself. It's your energy. You created it. You cultivated it. It belongs to you. You can use it to pulse yourself into right action when you're in this world. That is not going to be that creative flow, that action that's pulsed by inspiration, by intuition. Just allow your higher self and your team's higher selves to move into ownership of that creative current. Like, this is mine. This is mine. Yep, and you use it only for you. It's yours. Nobody else can use it, so don't bother giving it away. You keep it on you and for you because it is you. And we're inviting your higher self, your body's higher self, and your team to do this before you enter into this world on that platform. Bring it all in before you even get here. You're going to need all of it. That energy is the key to creating here in this world. You want it. It's yours. Go and get it. Okay, and they're just saying, we can't get it, so why can't you get it? It's not here. Okay, so some of you are like looking for it here, and we're inviting your higher self, your body's higher self, and your team to go back in time prior to your arrival in this world on that platform and engage and locate that creative energy there and bring it in for yourselves there at that point in time. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yes, you can't get it here because you didn't come with it. You have to go back and go get it. Oh, yeah. Bring that creative current energy in for you. Wrap yourselves in it. Seal yourselves up in it. Own it. Do not give it to anyone. It is yours. All of it. Okay. And they're like, we got it. Woohoo, yay. So we're inviting your higher self, your team's higher selves, to wrap these creative energies around you to use for this entire incarnation. There we go. And we're inviting you at the level of your higher self, your team's higher selves, to hold the stance, the vibration of, again, it's mine. No sharing. You hold your creative energy on you and for you. You only use it for yourself. Right, good. And we're inviting you to reflect that stance of it's mine. No sharing, I use it. Down to yourself from that platform. Down to yourself into every single stage of development. Starting from the womb, actually starting from conception, in the womb, birth, all throughout your youth, young adulthood, all the way up the line, for as long as you've lived in this incarnation. The entire time, all the way up until you decide to leave this world. Good. Activating all of those spiritual lessons and repatterning all of those pieces into all dimensions, all directions of time. Same for your team, and same for your body if she's moving or infusing any of those pieces as well. Let it be so. Good. Let's see. We got it. Okay. You can type any feedback or questions in the chat box. We're just going to wait until that moves. Okay, they are done with that. Okay. So this is for all of you impatient people, this next piece, myself included. Kinsey saw a flash of red during that process. Does that mean anything to you? Not in and of itself, Kinsey. If you know, the only thing I can think of is the root, right? So when you hold that creative, sexual, powerful energy on you and for you, that can increase or help balance out the root chakra. So let's look at that. Hang on, Kinsey. Let's look at that. Tell me about that. So let's just invite your higher self and your team's higher selves. Let's clean and clear the root chakra using that divine cosmic energy from above and below to clean and clear the root chakra. And let's bring the root, move the root into that higher vibration so that it can actually support the sacral. Not support, but it's more of a balance of energy. So you don't want your sacral really huge and then your root is like this. So we're just going to invite, clean and clear anything that is blocking the root chakra so that it can also expand into that higher vibration that the sacral is holding. Okay. Yep, infusing those higher vibrations for the root that support you then from a place of centeredness, grounding, expression, safety, security, trust. Ooh, I feel a lot of spinning on that. And let's recalibrate that to your soul's essence in this current higher frequent frequency, spinning it in the appropriate direction, light, speed, color, sound, that brings into alignment and balances those lower chakras. And then activate and repattern all of those. How does that feel for you? That feel like it had any resonance? I like the way it feels. Awesome. Good. Yes. Kinsey feels a bit lighter now. Yes, good. That's excellent, Kinsey. Thank you for pointing that out, right? Because that is just an indicator, kind of like your higher self saying, tell Elizabeth, we got some root stuff. So we can then recalibrate that as well. That's great. I'm getting chills on that, so that's good. Good. And Cindy had clouds of purple and had cellular memory this incarnation of having a conversation prior to coming to Earth. So this connection was easily done. Fantastic. Fantastic. We do have one more pretty good one. I'm just going to check everybody's good. So this is for the impatient people. Which would be me. And, when we get focused on ascension and evolution and spiritual growth, there is this hurry up, I want it now mentality. And we become impatient. We want enlightenment. We want, I take a class, I should be completely clairaudient or clairvoyant afterwards. And so we just remind you that it's all a process, right? And one class is not going to flick any switches unless you're ready at that point in time in your growth and evolution to flick that switch. Then that class or that book or that program or whatever you're in will be the catalyst to you flicking your own switch. So this one is a little bit more about tapping into a group consciousness that is eager for ascension, that might be a little ahead of the process for where we are. So it's kind of like tapping into someone else's plan for ascension. You know, they're moving like lightning. I want to tap into there and ride with that. And that in our ego mind is like, yeah, that's exactly where I want to be. But from our own place of spiritual growth and evolution, you just might be riding the fast train to get there when your energy, your evolution, the place of where you are spiritually is not in alignment with the fast track. You may need to take the tugboat, and there's nothing wrong with that. When you ride the fast track and you're really not there yet, it's uncomfortable because you are turning up the heat on the frying pan to full blast, and that can burn you, so to speak. But when you ride the boat, if you will, to what is appropriate for you, so say you're on the tugboat, that ride is actually more pleasant. It's more joyful. It's like, it just feels good. So we're going to bring in a process to kind of move out of the consciousness that has you on the fast track and into the more appropriate consciousness of where you are right now, to make that transition move a little bit more gracefully, move a little bit more smoothly, so you can have the instead of the experience, okay? So we're inviting your higher self and your Body Deva's higher self and your team to engage and locate the group consciousness that is pushing hard for ascension and is out of timing with the process. So they could be pushing really hard, but the processes that they're using to get there may not be in balance as well. So let's locate that first. Delete and dissolve it all. Ooh. And we're inviting you to gently and gracefully unplug from that consciousness and come into the timing of what is right for you right now. That sweet, gentle, magical, light, joyful, happy flow. It's not overwhelming, it's not stressful, it doesn't give you the impression that you're not doing it right, I'm not there yet, so I'm wrong. It doesn't make you wrong. It doesn't make you stressed out or feel like you have to be somewhere that's not in alignment with you. The energy already, even on your tugboat, is pushing you. So you can be where you are and still be pushed. It's just the level of intensity and the consciousness of the group that just may not be in alignment or in right timing. So delete and dissolve all that. Good. Unplug from that consciousness. Good. And then we're inviting your higher self and your body's higher self to then engage and locate the point in the energetic wave of ascension that is the most supportive for you, the one that is going to propel you forward, to move you into greater states of spiritual growth and evolution, but at a pace in which is supportive to you, which is in timing with where you are. inviting you to calibrate your energetic ears for that point in the wave that is perfect for you. It's your own divine perfect point for your spiritual growth and evolution. So a lot of you are like, well, if I get on the tugboat, I'm not going to be able to move as fast as I want to. And we're inviting you to think of it this way, that if you're on the tugboat, you're moving exactly at the right speed for you. And you're going to get to where you need to go in a much more easy, graceful, gentle way. And that people who are riding on the fast track, it's fine for them. That's where they need to be. So if you're riding the fast track and you're not a fast track person, it will become uncomfortable. So we're inviting you to move to your tugboat where you can calibrate your ears for that point that is perfect for you. You won't be left behind just because you're moving slower, okay? Everybody moves at a different pace, but there's no reason to think or believe that because you're going to be moving slower, that you're not going to get to the same point at the same time. In actuality, you would. There's a saying, to slow down in order to speed up. And some of you who are riding the fast track think you're going to speed up, when in actuality, if you slowed down, you would actually make more progress because you'd be moving it in your own divine timing, at your own pace, at your own frequency, at your own vibration, in the appropriate consciousness that is in appropriate timing with you. That was a lot of words, actually. So, let's calibrate your energetic ears for that point that is perfect for you. That has the perfect rhythm, the perfect timing, the perfect flow. This also helps the heart center be in better balance, and it will actually help your sleeping cycles be a little bit more balanced and stabilized. You can also sit in nature. Nature is very powerful. You can be in nature, sit in nature, and recalibrate to that perfect flow, which is for you as well. Good. We're asking for a balance of the middle ear for the energetic movement that we're all moving into. A clearing of your energetic ears, of any sounds, of any consciousness that is not appropriate or necessary for you to be using right now at the level of your higher self. Delete and dissolve all that. Let's just activate all of those pieces and repattern all of those. Good. And lastly, we're just going to again ask for a balancing and a stabilization of all of this work that we've done today, bringing your energy and awareness back into this present breath of now, allowing your body, Deva, to use its energetic fields to balance and stabilize. Open, clear, align. To bring in any higher vibrations, higher vibrational ways of being between all three that we did today, you, your body, and your team, that supports you in moving forward with more clarity, empowerment, integration, balance while you're here in the world. And we're allowing for integration to occur here and in the higher realms. activating all of that and repatterning all of those pieces. And we're just going to allow for those pieces to kind of wrap up. We're asking that you be wrapped in a safe, sacred container of love and light that is calibrated to the soul essence of you, your body, and your team, and that has the capacity to seal these vibrations in to the degree that is appropriate for your own spiritual growth and evolutionary state. I'm just repeating, at your own spiritual growth and evolutionary state. We thank the angelic realm for their service and assistance today, and to you all for having the courage to shift these pieces, to move into greater states of balance and creativity, passion. For as you shift, humanity shifts with you. Let it be so. Oh.